we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBC Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white trim and fighting out of his home of Cleveland, Ohio. He weighed in at already 174.5 pounds. His record stands at 18 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Jose Luis Rivera.
红角的选手是来自美国芝加哥蒙泰尔格里芬，全台绰号冷冰冰，今年30岁，战绩是38胜3负，27次击倒对方获胜，前 WBC 轻重量级世界冠军，争夺世界冠军的头衔。12回合的比赛现在开始了。
And his opponent across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner in this 12-round championship bout, wearing red, white, and blue trunks and fighting out of Chicago, Illinois. He weighed in at 175 pounds. His record stands at 38 wins, 3 losses, with 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBC Light Heavyweight Champion of the world, introducing Montell Griffin. Once again, our referee in charge is Bernie Profato now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
那么现在我们的主裁伯纳多·普勒法多在向2位拳手讲解比赛的重要事项。
I expect you to obey my commands at all time and protect yourselves at all time. Let's do it.
All right, Bob Sheridan here with Bobby Ches and Dr. Freddie Pacheco. What are the keys, Bobby?
Okay, keys to victory for Griffin. Use a sharp jab. Also, that side-to-side movement is so hard to hit, and sharp and quick counter punches. He has terrific speed and accuracy with his punches. His counterpart needs to keep the pressure on. Rivera needs to make Griffin work, also set a fast pace. That's where he's more comfortable. And defensively, he has to use angles, not be a stationary target for Griffin to hit.
So we're just about set to go. Here's the referee has indicated to the timekeeper. Let's get this underway. They've got a very strange bell here. This is round number 1 of the scheduled IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. 175-pound division, scheduled for 12 rounds. Montell Griffin opens up with a nice left hook to the head of Jose Luis Rivera. For Rivera, it could be a bit of a problem here.
You know, that bell is a ceremonial Chinese bell with a little hammer. It's just not making enough noise. That could be a factor at the end of rounds. And boy, is that trouble when you can't hear the bell.
Well, we've seen it happen before where, in fact, Montell Griffin was a victim at the very close of his fight against Roy Jones Jr., and he was a great victim because he ended up with a title. But a bell can be a problem, and it will be a problem before this night of boxing's over. Bobby, when you're in the ring and you get a problem like that, what's it all about?
Well, you know what? Sometimes you can't worry about the bell. You do your best to focus to hear it, stop when it's time, but protect yourself at all times.
You have to depend on the referee, and he's got to depend on his ears.
All right, the jabs are coming good by Montell Griffin. He's the more experienced of the 2 fighters, but Jose Luis Rivera is coming off a victory in January. He outpointed Katie King, who coming into that fight was 20-2.
It's a nice counter right hand right there by Rivera, but he's not doing enough. Griffin's making him eat a lot of jabs on the way in.
And he's certainly not doing what they told us he trained him to do. They give him angles, not to come straight in. Well, he's coming straight in. There's no angles.
Well, it's Griffin's fault. He's standing flat-footed, letting the guy coming in, and he's happy to jab and counterpunch, and that counter jab is pretty effective, except he had his hand turned over. Bobby, you know about that. Your hand's twisted over like that, you have no power on the jab.
Well, sometimes you over-twist, but, you know, it's one of those things where right now what Griffin's doing is trying to make Rivera, as he's charging in, run into that jab, which will double the impact and set up his other combinations, like that hook.
Nice hook, it missed, but his intention was good. If he came back with a right hand, he'd have been better off. Big, tall Jose Luis Rivera in the red trunks to the left of your screen. That's Montell Griffin with his back to you to the right of your screen, and the colors of the American flag here in China.
And he said, you know, height is no problem. I've never have fought anybody who was shorter than me. So this is no problem for him. In the meantime, he just landed a very good right hand, did Griffin.
when you take a look at the ring record of Montell Griffin, you know, other than the famous fights with Roy Jones Jr., he hasn't exactly got a who's who in boxing on his record of wins either. And he lost to a guy by the name of Eric Harding down in Miami, Florida, in your territory, Bertie.
Yep. Stop. He just wasn't in shape. He didn't look good at all in that fight.
We're in round 1. It's scheduled for 12. You see the time remaining inside of 22 seconds to go, and this is the first round of a 12-round affair.
So even though Griffin is short and he doesn't have great reach, he boxes very well from the outside. Good head movement, good body movement. His speed's real good, so he can offset that height deficit with speed.
Rivera not using his height advantage at all because he hooks, he doesn't double jab. Now he's putting a little bit of pressure on, and watch how quickly Griffin ties him up. There's the bell ending round number 1. We're listening to the corners.
We get louder with that hammer. We get louder with that hammer. I know that.
Okay, now listen. Slowly. Oh yeah, you don't have to take 2 steps. Just take 1 step back and run him into something, okay? Okay? Use the left hand, make him work, make him get past the left hand. Okay. Just time it. I want you to hit him in the body a little bit, but I want you to run him in the jab this next go around, okay? Now once
that double jab is working excellent, but you're jabbing and you're staying in front of him. No, remember, we're supposed to be moving out of there, okay?
To the left.
Yeah.
Jab with the left hand, move to the left.
That's it. Okay? Now you have to remember this. Right? He's working that counter punch hook. You have to stay away from that. Okay? No, ahora. You heard? Okay. You have to stay away from it.
Let's go with the corners. Let's go.
There's that bell we talked about. It has a real thin sound to it, on top of the fact that it's not loud. It's very thin, no resonance to it at all, so it's hard to hear.
I think they need a bigger hammer.
Yeah. So when this place gets filled with 10,000 roaring people, that's going to be hard to hear. So let's go back to this.
Well, hopefully with the bad weather outside, we will have 10,000 on hand because they really were excited about Layla Ali fighting here tonight. But right now, we've got the IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. Montell Griffin, who won the first round, decked out in the red, white, and blue, taking on Luis Rivera with a pretty fair country record of 18-2 coming in here.
And Oscar Squires told him what we've been saying. Don't stand in front, give him angles, punch and go off. And still he can't do it. He said, oh yes, but he isn't doing it.
There was a real nice 1-2 by Rivera, but he just stayed there, laid his head out there, and Griffin came back with a double left hook to counter him.
Break, stop.
You know, it's so hard to teach something in the gym and then do it in practice. I mean, he's fighting the way he always fights. He hasn't changed at all.
Well, Rivera is not fighting like a guy that's 5 inches taller. You see the way he bends over the trunk and he dips that neck down? He's making an easy target for Griffin because he stands right in front of him, giving him no side-to-side movement. And Griffin can do just about as he pleases when Rivera throws the lazy left. He can come right through it. And that uppercut right there, because the left hand, he slipped the punch, a little bit of movement by the more experienced Griffin. He slipped it and bang, he nailed him with that uppercut.
All right, break, sit back.
See, the defensive moves that Griffin has are so superior to what Rivera's used to that he's not able to time him at all. On the inside, as well as the outside, shorter man winning on the outside, shorter man almost always winning on the inside.
There's that jab as he plods forward, does Rivera, but it's the jab of Montell Griffin that's getting through. Now he sludge hammers him in the back.
See, some of what Rivera's doing too is he's coming in so close that he's losing his own leverage. He's shortening the distance too far that he can't work from inside there. Only Griffin's going to be effective that close.
You know, Bobby, in a lot of ways you can discredit Rivera, but that little slip movement that Griffin has when he comes in makes the jab of Rivera totally ineffective, and then Griffin counters him inside beautifully.
Well, somewhere along the way, there's a matter of speed. The jab is running in kind of slow and methodical, and Griffin's speed and reflexes are better than the jab.
Freddie, we got a cut situation there, at least a bad bruise on that left eye.
It's already got a little bit of blood on it. It's under the eye, not over the eye, but you can see it's starting to swell up, and that's going to be a problem as this goes. His main problem is his jab is much slower than Griffin, and Griffin is tattooing him in counter punches.
A big left hook that time, almost took him off his feet. His knees are still there, his legs are all right, but he got nailed with a good left hook.
Oh. Montell is working slowly but accurately toward busting him up, and that's what he wants to do, and that's what he's doing.
See, he's so hard to hit. You see him lean out of the way of the punch and then land two, and there again, in and out, in and out.
And there's the bell ending round number 2.
There you go. Take them out, please.
That's a great shot showing you that cut.
He's standing too much straight in front of him, which I don't want. Okay? You're working your job perfectly. Real nice, guys. Remember when I told you uno, dos? All right? Yeah, once you got here. Okay. No, it's a nip. It's a nip. Don't worry about it. It's a nip. Now, listen. Uno, dos. All right?
Here's that left hook Montell Griffin has. It's landing with regularity. Double jab.
Double jab. Time the jab and ride it out. Ride it on inside. When you're inside, just step right around the side. Just want to step right around the side, okay? The next round. Give a little more fight. No, give a little more fights, and I want you to stop him. You know? Stop him in the center. Okay?
Next one.
All right, we're set to go with round number 3 in this scheduled 12-round affair. IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. We're coming to you from Tianhe Stadium in Guangzhou in the Republic of China, the People's Republic of China. It's Rivera in the red with his back to you, sliding around to the left. And Montell Griffin, former world champion, with his back to you now, sliding to the left.
And jabbing, and jabbing. He just gets that in there. There's a nice right hand and comes back to the body.
He really cracked him with that right hand right on the ear, but he hasn't been able to shift the legs. A little bit of a jelly-like movement for 1 second, and then he's right back to the legs. He's all right. What a wild shots by Griffin.
Both fighters missing some big punches with bad intentions on him. But Griffin's reflexes, again, are so quick that he is making Rivera miss so much and countering very well.
Stop. You know, while the IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship may not mean a lot to many, it means a lot to these fighters that are in there tonight because it will lead to a shot at one of the 3 considered the 3 big championships. Look at this, guys.
Well, amazingly enough, the 3 big ones are all owned by one man, Roy Jones Jr., and maybe a trilogy will fill out and they get the 3rd fight, the rubber match.
We'll see what happens, and that's what this fight's all about. Right now, it's Griffin beating up on Rivera.
Heads inside, come on.
Continues to bang the body. Referee Bernardo Perfado from Niles, Ohio, right outside of Youngstown, Ohio, in the United States, doing a nice job.
I can't for the life of me figure out why Rivera wants to get inside with those long arms and that long body. Why is he inside, which is Griffin's territory? Once he's inside, he's doomed.
He really is compromising himself quite a bit by staying that close, Ferdy. He can't get the leverage, he can't get the arms working in there, and he opens himself up to a lot of damage.
Well, unless he goes to side movement, which apparently he's not, he's wide open for shots.
And now he's bruised on top of his right eye as well as underneath. See, he's got a bruise under both eyes. I mean, now it's right and left and on top of the right eye.
Griffin with total confidence now, as Rivera, who's just a really nice kid, tries to make a fight of this thing, but he's got the wrong fight plan tonight.
Well, you know what? Griffin's starting to show less and less respect for Rivera's power, if he has any power, and he's leaping in with shots from the outside, big uppercuts and big hooks.
Well, you know he wants to take him out, Bobby. He wants to shift him and make a big, nice left hook. Wow, did he nail him that time?
Beautiful right hand and a left hook coming right back, and what? Rivera walked right into it, staying stationary.
Bobby, what's it do to a fighter when you nail a guy with a left hook like that and you don't shift him?
Well, you know what? For some fighters, it might discourage them, and for other fighters, they'll just hit. If you let them hit you, they'll hit you again.
That's what he did.
Well, it's building up. The punishment is building up, and you can see on Rivera's face, he doesn't have the answer for anything except to accept the punches on the head.
All right, closing seconds of the 3rd round. It's over.
I'm talking about. We have to work this man, okay? Okay, we have to work on. Come on. Take deep one. Come on, Jose. Take deep one. Take deep one, baby. Come on, take deep ones. There you go. One more time. Now you got his number. Right or wrong? Yes. There you go, baby. Now you got his number.
With those excellent reflexes, even going back, makes a punch go low, makes another one miss. Comes back with a left and a right. I told you, he's short and he hasn't got great reach, but he has incredible reflexes and good speed. He's one of those few guys that can beat you going backwards. And later, a little bit more of the same. Griffin's kind of waiting on him. There's a right hand and a left hook. Again, Rivera does not move his head, walking straight in, squared off. No defensive angle side to side. Griffin just teeing off on him.
Well, we come up to round number 4 as the bell sounds, that thin, tinny sounding bell, and round 4 is underway in this scheduled 12-round fight. Montell Griffin has been giving a boxing lesson to Luis Rivera, and one question has been answered, Bobby. His defeat against Darius Mikuleski, it doesn't seem to be bothering him now.
Well, you know, he was a little depressed about that fight, and also the second Roy Jones fight, he thought there was some shifty things that happened in leading up to the fight, so his mind, he said, was not settled. His body was okay. He needed time off to fix both. And evidently, he's fixed them.
Well, Griffin put in 3 hard shots to the body, right in the middle and the midsection. That's kind of hurt.
One of them a little bit low, too, Freddie, as I heard the referee, Bernardo Profondo, say, hey, keep him up, Montell, keep him up. He's doing a nice job outboxing this guy, and in spite of the fact it's an unintentional low blow, it's still a foul. Uppercut inside that time by Rivera. Rivera bought 100 Bibles in Chinese to give up. That's the kind of nice guy he is to the people here in the People's Republic.
Did he really?
He sure did, but this is a tough man's business here. Nice straight right hand that time.
You'll notice, too, Griffin will throw a left hook or right hand up top and come back with either the same hand or the opposite hand to the body.
Rivera looking a little sloppy now, Doc.
He's doing the best he can, which isn't good enough. He's frustrated. He doesn't know what to do, and he hadn't certainly followed the advice of the corner, so he's left with what's happened to him his whole career. He takes a lot of punishment. He eats a lot of leather.
He's a guy with 18 victories, though. He's had only 2 losses, 1 no contest. He's certainly a worthy opponent for Griffin for this title. He's ranked in the top 10 in the IBC.
He's never been off his feet. Although the stoppage was a cut, he still feels that without that cut, that fight he would have won, and that cut has never reopened or been a problem, but his face is busting up badly.
Oh, there's a low blow. Now that's a low blow. Now that was really a low blow.
He reacted to it, but more or less that it happened and it hurt him. Rivera ties him up and then he throws a shot on the break. But the referee warns Griffin about holding.
And Griffin said, I didn't do nothing. I got a hit.
Guy whacked me into the bell. Nice combination. There's a 1-2 left hook that time. Wow, with the right hand, the left straight left tails him. Right on top of that eye. Boy, oh boy, what's it take to shift this guy? His legs are still there.
That's the ref saying to him, you're hitting on the break as well. Both of them are hitting each other on the break.
And not only hitting on the break, but as they get real close, they're hitting each other a little bit behind the ear toward the back of the head. Also could be a dangerous thing.
Wow, with the left hook again. There's a low blow now by Rivera. He's going to have to take some points away to stop this. No, he's giving a warning.
Yeah, but he gave it to the wrong guy.
Exactly.
The guy got it. I mean, to the other guy.
As the left hook by Montell counters it again with a straight left, and the bell ends round number 4. A tough, hard-fought round 4.
Okay. We have to. All right. Hey, go, get out. We have to move that head, okay? You're going in with that jab, but you're going in too straight, okay? You can't do that, Jose. Come on, buddy. You're not putting nothing to practice. It's okay. It's going to come along, but we need to pressure him. He started getting tired, okay? So we have to pressure this man now, okay? If you're in there, work the 3 shots, okay? All right. I want to see more right hand lead, Jose, okay? Now, you have to remember, we have to follow. That right hand we have to follow with the hook. We're not working that hook. Let's try to double those shots, Jose, under there. Come on.
They come together so often, and there's a lot of swinging behind the head, behind the ears, and hitting on the break by both fighters, as well as a little bit of low blows.
All right, here we go, round number 5. Bob Sheridan sitting in for Steve Albert tonight with your regulars, Dr. Freddie Pacheco and Bobby Ches. We're at Tianhe Stadium in Guangzhou in the People's Republic of China. Montell Griffin through 4, giving a boxing lesson to Luis Rivera in the red trunks. This is round number 5.
And I have not given a round yet to Rivera. He's trying hard, but he's not making it. Griffin giving him a boxing lesson. He's ahead of this fight.
Well, I've got a shutout too, Freddie. 40-36 through 4 on the 10-point must scoring system.
That basically makes it unanimous, but I'll tell you what, Rivera's trainer just told him go out there and use that jab and use it differently. Step to the side when you come in, don't come in straight. He ran out through 5 jabs, stepped to the side, threw some more, and actually, for the first time, compromised Montell Griffin just a little bit.
Crowd came to life when he got the jab through. There's a couple of jabs, but they're short. If you're going to be short, you got to get that right hand flying right behind it if you're going to be effective. If you're short with a jab, you better be throwing something else because a guy like Griffin is going to come right through your jab.
All right, stop. Stop for me. Step back. That's it. That's what it is. Listen, man.
Nice pace to the fight. The guys are working hard. It's not a furious fight. It's kind of one-sided.
It's a methodical fight, is what it is. It's a methodical beating by Griffin. Rivera's still in the fight, but he's getting more than he's giving.
Good body shot that time by Griffin. Griffin has that look of confidence in his face. At what stage, Bobby, when you're in a fight like this, when you know that you're in control, what's your thinking in there as a fighter?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think Griffin believes he's won every round, as we have already said, that we think, but I think he feels in control so far. Rivera's been able to do nothing to hurt him, nothing to stop him, nothing to even stop him from getting hit, so I think he feels he's in control. I don't know when there's a point that you recognize it any quicker than another, but he's doing a great job.
He's had a history of hot-dogging it in some fights, but he hasn't done any of that at all here in China.
Well, you know what? I'm not much on hot dogging, so I'm glad he's not doing it.
Two real stiff jabs in there. Rivera tries to answer back, and he misses everything with the nice body movements of Montell Griffin.
Strong jab by Griffin.
One of the problems for Rivera is, too, is he's throwing one jab, one right hand at a time, and he's throwing them slowly. He needs to pump 2-3 jab step, and then fire right hand, hook, right hand. He needs 6 and 7 punches at a time if he's going to start connecting with Griffin and compromise him at all.
Notice that Griffin is standing sort of just flat-footed in the center ring. Now he gets up on his toes and moves around. And Rivera is up on his toes sometimes, but when he stops and comes straight in is when he gets clipped. If he would move side to side, he'll circle to the right sometimes, then he won't go back to his left and throw the right hand. It's an easy guy to figure out if you're fighting him. Tries to be aggressive, but the bell's coming up to end round number 5.
He's slowing down a little bit right now, but you got to keep it up. I want you to keep your hands up a little higher, okay? Put your hands down here. You give him a chance to put your hands up a little higher and take those shots off. So you don't have to give him those. You don't have to give him those jabs that are strong.
He ain't gonna be hitting you with nothing.
With your hand.
Griffin basically doing whatever he wants. Combinations. He can see the punches so easily from Rivera. His reflexes are so good. Rivera's so slow. Hits him, slips his punches, steps out at will, and then jumps back in and fires. There's another combination and a little bit of frustration, I guess. He's holding him by the headlock and he's getting a little pound to the ribs.
Okay, let me see that 1-2 to the chest like I told you. Follow with that hook, okay? If you go to the body, come and double up to the head. You see what I'm saying? Right. You're not doing those things that we work. Come on. Let's work them, boy. Okay? Right. Put it in.
Let's go to the corners. Let's go.
Let's do that. All right, come on.
Let's go. Good job.
All right, this is round number 6 in the scheduled 12-round affair for the IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. I thought in the 5th round Griffin slowed down just a hair, or perhaps Rivera picked it up a notch. Nonetheless, we have to be concerned with that. We're approaching the halfway point in the scheduled 12-round affair. The last thing you want to see if you're a Griffin fan is him to run out of gas.
Wait, good play those for both you guys. Good job.
Well, I thought the beginning of the 5th round, Rivera came out with a little more purpose, a little better punches, combinations, and jabbing, and Griffin slowed a little bit, but then rallied very, very well.
Yeah, I think he rallied well enough to take the round and keep his shutout going. But at least Rivera's trying hard. I mean, you know, give the guy credit. He's in there doing what they told him. That's just slip.
Referee right on top of that. A good call by the referee. And I like to see it when the referee stands back a little bit because then he can see the legs of the fighter. And this referee, Bernardo Profato, from outside of Youngstown, Ohio, knows exactly what he's doing in there. 6-round action.
Yeah, I'm left with a thought that if they're trying to teach him new tricks, they sure picked a hard opponent to work out those tricks on. Couldn't they have picked an easier guy to work out new tricks?
I think some of those tricks were specifically designed to be effective against this opponent.
And not working, Bobby.
No, they're not
working.
Come on. His head's coming in. Stop!
Well, they reported to us that it was going to be a sellout crowd, and because of the weather outside, it hasn't developed into that, but they should be still coming in, and you see them coming in some of the areas here, but it's not quite the crowd they expected, and that's a real situation. That's a disappointment for the promoters because the weather was just absolutely horrible just as we were ready to go on the air.
And they're really counting on a big crowd to put this show over and show what they can do in China and the People's Republic of China. So I'm sure they're holding their breath.
Well, the fact of the matter is they've sold the tickets. It's just that the crowd was unable to get here because of the situation. I had mentioned that there was monsoon conditions, and the fellas in the truck, David Dickens and the boys said, hey, don't call it a monsoon, Colonel, because we'll have CNN on wanting to know what's going on over here otherwise. So it was bad thunderstorms, and it has affected the crowd, but it hasn't affected the action in this fight. Griffin and Rivera making good accounts of themselves. Montell having it his way, though.
Each and every round starting to be a repeat of the previous round. Big bombs now landing clean, 2 and 3 in a row by Griffin.
Hey, Griffin, when he gets tired, leans on the guy's shoulder. He wants to load up that right hand. He comes with the left jab. Rivera able to tie him up. Closing seconds now. This is the 6th round. Griffin would love to have a lights out for him. There's the uppercut. Nails him with the right hand. Nice combination to end the round. Wow, what a nice finish to round number 6. Here's what we have coming up for you and what the people here in China want to see. Layla Ali taking on Christina King and a women's super middleweight bout extraordinaire. The fame of Layla Ali, this is her early in the week. This is the way they promoted her. The people didn't come to see anybody but this young lady, the daughter of Muhammad Ali. She signed autographs. She was very congenial to most people. The smiling face, a beautiful girl, the second youngest daughter of Muhammad Ali. And believe it or not, the people in China know her because, of course, of her father. The live crowd shot here again at Tianhe Stadium here in Guangzhou.
And the promoter said Ali is so huge here, not because of his boxing presence alone, but because of his anti-war sentiments made him such a hero here for the country. And that's a lot of people.
Here we go, round number 7. Again, scheduled for 12. This is a championship fight in the light heavyweight division. That's the 175-pound division. Roy Jones, the king of the hill in that outfit. It's been a shutout so far for Montell Griffin.
The point of no return is basically now and every minute hereafter for Rivera. He has to do something drastic. He has to win every round and have a knockdown or a knockout if he's going to even have a chance of winning this fight.
Unless he gets very lucky, I don't see any chance.
Get him up, Jose. Get him up. Get him up. Okay, it's a warning.
This guy doesn't look like he's a very big puncher either. On top of all of his other troubles.
When you take a look at his ring record, Ferdy and Robbie, there's no really big names in there other than Antonio Tarver. And in that one, he was TKO'd by Tarver in the 4th round back in June of 1998. Tarver, of course, a great Olympic medalist and a real up-and-coming fellow to be reckoned with in this division.
Yeah, this is surely a big step up for him. He's fighting a very talented fighter who's got all the tools, a lot of experience, and right now he is not faring well at all. It's showing.
But nonetheless, as a professional athlete and a professional prize fighter, he's working as hard as he can. And by golly, Bobby, you've been in difficult fights towards the end of your career when you know, well, you're just not going to be able to beat this guy, and yet what drives you on?
Well, some of it's just pure pride. I hate to lose, and most fighters do, and if they don't, they should. Second place is last place in boxing, and that is just not acceptable for most fighters.
Well, Rivera is certainly one of those fighters because he's not having anything his way. He's had that cut below the eye going back to the 2nd round. He had a pretty good 5th round, but still not good enough to win it. And other than that, it's been Montell Griffin doing about as he's wanted to do throughout the course of this evening.
He's just giving him a systematic beat. It doesn't look like he's opened up in order to knock him out. It doesn't look like the coach said, okay, go ahead, take him out. It's just he's getting a systematic beating.
He just switched to southpaw there, too, and gave him a little different look, did Griffin, and wasn't real successful with it, but wasn't too bad.
Nice right-hand lead. That somehow gets some second wind going for Rivera. He gets up on his toes, hands it back to the wild left hook, a light right hand inside. Pause with his left jab. Wild uppercut by Griffin that fell short. Missed that. Oh, he caught him with a good left hook. I think he may have hurt him this time. He's back on his heels a little bit, and Griffin may sense that the end is near.
You know, Rivera's still pressing him, and he hasn't really wobbled much at all. He's been hit with some pretty solid punches.
As you take a look at the wide shot, you can see those legs a little bit heavy. He bangs the body, nails him again upstairs in the temple bone. Closing seconds of the 7th round. Montell Griffin trying to end this thing in a hurry. I don't think he'll be able to do it this round as he finishes strong. 2 more good shots ending the 7th round.
Now he was going for a knockout. Now he was going for it.
A little better. Take some deep one, bite. Come on, take some deep ones. There you go. Are you feeling?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? All right. Good.
Keep the pressure on.
It's a little better. You see what I'm saying?
How you feeling? Good.
That's a little better. That's a little better. See what I'm saying? That's a little better. Now, listen. Don't let this guy fan you, okay?
Montell teeing off on him early. This is where he first shook him up. He just waits and waits. There's a left hook that doesn't land real well, but he comes back with that left hook and really clobbers Rivera. Catches him coming in so cleanly. Rivera does not give the angles that he was supposed to and that we talked about earlier. Some nice body work by Griffin. Coming up top to the head again. There's another left hook that lands very clean. And I'll tell you what, this kid has got to move his head, Rivera.
He doesn't seem able to because he doesn't seem to know how. It's just not in him to move his head. I don't think they're going to ever teach him to do that.
All right, here we go. Round number 8 in the scheduled 12-round affair. And right now, Griffin in the process of just beating Jose Luis Rivera down. The closing, all 30 seconds of the 7th round were brutal if you're a Rivera fan. And much more brutal if you're a Rivera.
You can see the door opening to the possibility of this fight not going the distance if he fights like that, like the end of that last round. There it goes.
3 nice shots in a row. Wow, with a left hook though to finish it off. This kid is some kind of tough. He hangs in there, keeps plodding forward. Griffin trying to set up some sort of counter.
See, one of the problems for Rivera, when he makes Montell miss, he doesn't make Montell pay. When Rivera misses, Griffin makes him pay.
Nice straight shot there, Bobby.
1-2. He set him up, and there, the right hand. Oh.
That's a southpaw again. A little bit overhand left clubbing.
But he's going all out. He's going all out. Those are heavy punches. He hasn't been landing those kind of punches.
Well, he senses that he can end it, and he wants to end it. He'd love to score a knockout here now.
Put your hands.
But don't forget, we're in the 8th round. This is an area that Rivera hasn't been too often in his career. In fact, as I look at his score sheet, he's been there twice. In his very last fight, in which he won, and then you got to go way back to Rocky Gannon, actually Rick Gannon they call him, in May of '94 before he's been any more than 8 rounds.
Come on, your hands are free. There you go. All right, stop.
But on top of the fact, Bobby, that he hasn't been in this territory too often, he's been taking an awful beating throughout the fight.
Well, he clearly seems to be well conditioned. He's very game. His chin has been shown to be solid, but he's just not performing. He's not executing. He's not being the technician that they put the plan together for him to be. He's just not executing. He cannot do it.
Well, coming straight forward is not the fight plan that you should have for this guy. And he's not using side-to-side movement. His corner is very pleased with the fact that he's hanging in there, but they have got to realize that this guy's just going to take a worse beating as the rounds tick by here now. Nice straight left hand bounces off the nose of Rivera.
Oh, hit on the break again.
I just warned him, all right?
He just warned him. He said, I just warned you not to hit on the break.
2 nice jabs again. Digs to the body. Inside of 30 seconds to go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, one thing you'll notice with Griffin, even as many clean shots he lands to the head, he never forgets the body. He always leaves a couple of body shots for you to remember him by.
There's an example right there what Bobby was talking about. He hooked, then he came with the uppercut. He was looking for the body, but Rivera able to smother him by grabbing on. Same thing again. Closing seconds now. This the 8th round of a scheduled 12-round championship fight. All right, there's the bell, ending the 8th round.
Come on, guys. Let me work here in my corner. Deep ones, buddy. Deep ones. There you go. Now you pressure a little bit. No, I'm saying, I want to see a little bit more power than that, okay? Come on. You can do it, okay? Come on. Deep ones. Deep ones. Deep ones. Key. Give me some water, please. Deep ones. Come on, buddy.
Shorter man out jabbing, taller man with reach. There's a missed right hand, nice slipping. And there's a jab, just stuffing. There's another jab. There's a hook off the jab. A wild right hand and a wild missing left hook. Shorter man being more effective, using his speed and stepping. You watch him, he steps in each and every time. There's another look at it from a little closer, stepping in with that jab, cutting the distance down and being very effective and very accurate.
And that's why he's pitching a shutout.
And I have it exactly a shutout. 80-72 in my scorecard. That's unofficial. The judges, Paul Silverman from Pittsburgh, Ronald Greenlee from Bensalem, Pennsylvania, and Joe O'Neill from Philadelphia will do the official scoring if it goes all the way. We're in round number 9 in this championship fight, and it's been all Montell Griffin, but it hasn't been a bad fight because Rivera is some kind of tough. He hasn't been down. He's only been visibly slightly shaken once, maybe twice, and that's about it. Griffin's hit him with everything. He opened up a cut in the second round. The eyes are starting to close, but Rivera keeps plodding forward as Griffin continues to pound the head and body.
Stop, stop, stop!
Rivera's not making Griffin miss anything. Everything Griffin throws practically is landing on something, even if it just gloves into Rivera's face or to Rivera's face or head or his body. Everything is absorbing punishment.
Bobby, you know if you don't move your head coming in, you can't slip punches, and he doesn't do much of that. Little side to side every once in a while like now, but he's not engaging. As soon as he gets ready to engage, he drops his hands and comes in with his head and he gets whacked.
Part of his problem, too, is, Bob, that when he bends over, he bends right into Montell's punches. He bends into Griffin's best stuff coming up with the uppercut to the rising hook and the right hand. And he compromises his height and his reach and everything. In doing that, I just don't understand it.
He just got warned by the referee for using his head as well. It wasn't that flagrant, but he got warned anyway.
Well, the referee's given a lot of warnings in this fight because we have had a few low blows and now the head's coming together.
On the whole, I think he's doing a very good job. Oh, nice little jab that caught Griffin finally.
But Griffin right away pretty counter punches him inside. And watch how he gets out of the corner.
Break, for me, stop.
There's two things you can do. You can either slide down the ropes or grab the man and spin him and get out. And see, there's a situation where he grabs and spins. And that's how to get out of there. Let the referee separate you. Let the referee help you. That's an experienced fighter. And remember, prior to this fight, we said the book on Luis Rivera was a lot of desire. This is a big step up in class. And will he be able to give the fight of his life, the performance of his life? Because that's what it would take if he's going to win this title from Griffin. And he hasn't been able to. Because Griffin, look at him, just teeing off on him, doing about as he pleases.
Speed, one of the biggest factors in this fight. Montell Griffin is just so quick. He's hard to hit. We talked about that earlier. Defensively, he is almost impossible to hit clean 2 times in a row. And right now, Rivera's having trouble hitting him once.
Yeah, the frustration is really showing, registering on his face. Rivera's trying everything he knows how, and he's just not getting in there. And in return, he's getting popped. There's a nice jab, just to show you.
Oh, where's he fit in the scheme of things? He's fought Mikulchevsky, as we said, Lou DeValley, Reggie Johnson, Russian Johnny, Michael Nunn's in there, Harding's in there, Antonio Tarver's right now, and David Telesco as the bell ends round number 9. We're in the Tianhe Stadium here in Guangzhou in the People's Republic of China. Normally they play basketball and volleyball in here. They even play badminton in here, we found out. And look at there's a young Chinese fan.
Oh, boy. Isn't she beautiful?
A beautiful little child. Hello there.
Make the miss, count him. You see what I'm saying? You're not doing none of that. You got an excellent job.
Water, a lot of water.
You got an excellent job.
A lot of water, squeeze it hard.
You got an excellent job, but you are not following with that job, okay? You're not working the body the way you're supposed to.
The body.
See, you got 3 hands, you got 2 hands, okay? Let's work. Okay, fight. Come on, you have to give it all, okay, if you really want it.
Boy, no panic in the corner at all. He said, you got to give a little bit more if you really want it. Pretty good advice there, Bertie.
Yeah, except that the door is closed. I mean, the cows have already left the barn.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rivera's trainer Oscar and I go back almost 30 years, 20 some odd years. When I first started boxing when I was very young, he knew me when I weighed less than 100 pounds. He knows the game, he knows the business, but he also knows his fighters. I think he realizes his fighters just slightly outmatched. His strategy's not working. He's trying to inspire them to do whatever he can and maybe pull out the golden key.
Well, we've seen it happen before in other fights. Whether it'll happen tonight, we'll find out in these next 3 rounds. But I'll tell you this, in fairness, I want to say Rivera is some kind of tough because he has been taking a boxing lesson tonight. His face is blown up. It's really busted up. He had a cut going way back to the 2nd round, and we want to give the corner. Keith Spangrick does the corner in there, and he does a nice job handling the cuts, and he's kept this one closed. Although it's very pumpy, not only under the eye, but beside it, and both eyes are just about closed.
Come on, show me you the man.
Nice lead right there. He just is too fast for him. It's just too fast. Actually, I hate to say it, he's outclassed. They're almost in a different class, these 2 fighters.
They are in a different class. There's no fear of saying it, Doc. They're in a different class. We knew it was a step up. Sometimes when guys step up in class, they reach that pinnacle. Sometimes they can't. For Rivera, he can. He's not going to be a top 10 light heavyweight, and he's going to find that out as the result of this fight comes up, barring some sort of wild thing that could happen at the end of the fight. Who knows?
As we know, anything can happen in boxing. It doesn't look like it will.
Get him up.
Not at all. Not the way Griffin is landing hooks and wild shots. Look at this kid, Rivera. What a heart on this guy.
Just to give you an idea of what you're looking at, Montell Griffin has exceptional speed, and Roy Jones Jr. is faster than that. I really would love to see the 3rd match between those 2 guys. First fight ended very funny. Clearly, you know, a 2-punch foul that Roy, I'm sure, didn't mean to throw. And then the 2nd fight, a blowout of Griffin. And there were some circumstances surrounding that for Griffin, at least, or so he said. So I would love to see that 3rd fight.
Well, you very well may see it if he wins this title tonight, but it certainly appears that he's going to. Okay.
I wish Roy would get into his career and fight more, don't you? I mean, here's maybe the best fighter fighting, and he just won't fight enough fights or good fights. I'd like to see this guy show us his stuff. Ooh, nice.
Man, he makes him pay. Rivera tries to do something good, tries to move the head, tries. Oh, the referee just got in there.
There's a cut
I can see where you mean about protect yourself at all times.
And a cut on Montell Griffin's left eye.
That's what he's mad at. He said, "Oh, look at this! Now I got a cut."
He loaded up the right hand in there. He's cut, and that's why you have to fight all 12 rounds.
Accidental in there. Accidental.
Gee, look here.
Watch your own head.
You've been doing it the whole damn fight.
Yeah.
What
we got there?
Come here. You got a button. Here. Come here.
Griffin working real nice, setting his guy. He hears a lead hook and a nice, beautiful right uppercut following. See, he's not one at a time, whereas you've seen Rivera throw 1 or 2 at a time. His hands are speedy, sets for his combinations, right hand, it goes right to the body with the left hook, another right hand to the body, and he comes up top, working head and body in combination, keeping Rivera off balance, keeping hands in his face.
Stay on the outside of it this time, okay?
That's a very little cut. That's almost enough.
Use your legs a little bit. Take
Yeah,
your legs a little bit, and give a little
Up
time.
here, it's a little bit better. Right there is good. Good meaning bad. It's but you only got 2 rounds to go. That's not going to affect this fight.
Well, there's like 2 cuts there, Freddie. The one that you were looking at, there's a little slit to the left just above the eyebrow, but there's a big one in the eyebrow, yeah.
That's the one I said that was good, meaning bad.
Well, he certainly could afford to play it safe from here on out. He's got every single round on our scorecard. His corner must know that. The last thing he wants to do is have this thing get stopped. But, of course, if it, with an accidental headbutt, if it was stopped now, it will go to the scorecards anyhow. So it's really academic.
I can't imagine that the scorecards are much different from ours.
That couldn't be, Bobby.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Look at all the blood now coming.
All 3 of the officials, by the way, are from the United States. Joseph O'Neill from Philadelphia, Ronald Greenlee from Bensalem, Pennsylvania, and Paul Silverman from Pittsburgh, PA, all in the United States of America.
Well, look at that cut has energized Rivera. He's really fighting about 1.5 times faster than he did before.
He's having his best round so far.
Yeah, he's like saying, oh boy, look at this. Maybe I can get this open and stop this fight.
Meanwhile, Griffin has nailed him right on top of his cut right below his left eye, and the blood's coming down. We got a bloodbath in the ring right now. But you know, Griffin was cruising along. We said anything can happen in a fight. All of a sudden, bang, the heads come together, and we got a real bad cut now. Oh, he's loaded up the right hand.
Griffin getting a little tired, showing a little bit of signs of fatigue, throwing and leaning in and holding, throwing 2 big bombs and leaning in and holding. That sometimes is a sign of fatigue.
I don't know whether it's from frustration or he's got an adrenaline flow, but Rivera has picked up the pace here in round 11. That cut has ignited him. He lands a light shot to the right side of the head, and another one to the left side. Here he comes in, and now look at Montell. He puts his head down and comes up. Now every time Rivera comes in, Montell is putting his head down. He's trying to protect that cut, I'm sure.
Well, just about a minute to go. Rivera might actually be winning this round. Still a lot can happen in 55 seconds.
And Montell appears to be a little fatigued. Clips him with a short left hand there. Loads up the right hand. Snaps the head back, and Rivera doesn't know what it means to quit. This kid's got some kind of courage. He's got some kind of heart. He just keeps coming forward and just keeps getting beat. Uppercut inside. Nice job by Bernardo Perfado to keep this thing under control. There's been a lot of fouls in this fight. And he's got it pretty much under control. Light left, wide right hand, both guys flailing inside, nailing each other behind the head. 20 seconds to go in the 11th round. Griffin out in front, but Rivera having a good round. Nails him inside, wild again with a shot with the right hand.
This is basically a survival mode right now for Griffin. Not really doing that much, doesn't really have to.
This is like a kitten that you taunt in the corner. You bother him enough and the guy breaks out, and that's what's happened with Rivera. Closing seconds of the 11th round, and a good round for Rivera.
Maybe the only round he's won in this fight, but he certainly won it. He outworked him.
Last one. Okay, I'm touching and coming out. Last round, touching and stepping back. Okay, Montell?
Come on, baby, come on. We have to go for broke, okay? We definitely have to go for broke. Don't give them nothing, baby. You show me you can stop this fight now if you really want it, okay? You hurt him badly. You didn't follow much. We have to do it now, okay? Water. It's now.
Okay. Okay? Yeah. All right. That's the last round, partner.
Okay, I'm cool.
Oh, you know what you do?
Cool.
Boxing this ring, stay off the road. Guy gotta find
Don't
you.
let him get no punches.
Okay? Don't give them nothing. You want it, you go get it. Okay? Come on, baby. Try it hard. I don't want to get it.
All right, we're set to go for the 12th and final round of this IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship. Montell Griffin way out in front of the crowd. Listen to the crowd. They finally get into it. Wow.
The crowd, which is finally filling in a little more each time. I'll tell you what, they're enjoying it.
Yeah, they've come in when it's become a battle now. You know, now they're looking at a battle.
Look at this guy, Rivera. No quit in him. Way behind in the scorecards unofficially. Montell loads up the left, comes back with a cracking right hand, and another left hand. Inside Rivera Griffin. We got us a pair of sixer all of a sudden.
What combination by Griffin, and he loaded up. Boy, did he land.
But it was cruising along with Griffin just rolling along. We mentioned all he has to do is survive the last couple of rounds. All of a sudden, we've got a war on our hands. Rivera came to life in the 11th after he cut with a headbutt Griffin in the 10th round, and now here in the 12th, he's a house of fire all of a sudden.
There's absolutely no quit in Rivera. He has come to fight for real. He wants a piece of Montell Griffin. Even if he doesn't win this fight, he wants to get his pound of flesh.
And we can answer the question. He's never been beyond 8. He's not doing bad in 11, and he's hanging in there in 12 pretty good too. Montell using everything in his arsenal and his bag of tricks to hang in there and don't get hurt. Angelo Dundee used to say hit and don't get hit. That's what he better do for the last few seconds of this fight.
Griffin is exacting his toll. He is not forgiving him anything. As he comes in, he gets hammered. The intensity is all on Rivera's part, but Griffin's doing all the boxing.
Another big right hand by Griffin. That left eye of Rivera's is, I mean, that is really getting ugly.
It's closing almost completely. It's only a slip there.
Bangs him again. He knows what to do. He's staying away. Goes to the right-hand lead. Ties him up. Making the seconds tick off the clock. Coming up to the 1 minute remaining mark here in the fight. It's been all Griffin. Maybe one round to Rivera.
Step back.
And try as hard as he might, he's losing this one as well as Rivera of this round, the 12th.
But you know, for a one-sided fight, Freddie, it turned into a pretty entertaining fight at the end. Look at this.
At the very end, it's become a fight.
Hey, break for me, break. You're holding this.
Well, when you get one guy with a lot of class and another guy trying to step up, the one thing you've got to continue to mention, I've said it a couple of times, and you folks watching around the world, you know Rivera's got tons of heart.
Griffin just said, oh my God. When the referee said, you guys are bullying each other, he goes, oh my God.
Not showing too bad a chin either. His heart is proportionate to his chin. He's got a great chin and great heart.
And a nice job by both corners, both cutmen in tonight's fight, keeping these guys who are busted up pretty good in the contest. Closing seconds of the fight. The crowd comes to life, and it's all over.
And you know, Bobby, I have to agree with you. He deserves the third shot at Roy. Go out and decide who wins the rubber match. It would be a good, entertaining fight.
By the way, unofficially, I've got a 119-109.
Exactly.
We'll see what the judges have it when we have the opportunity to collect the scorecards, and Jimmy Lennon will give us the announcement. Well, all in all, while it started out kind of slow, Griffin was in command, giving a good boxing lesson through the middle rounds. It was began to... Well, you just began to understand that this was Griffin's night and that the step up in class was a bit too much for Rivera to handle. But towards the end, it became a war, Bobby.
Well, toward the end, it became Donnybrook-style fighting. They were both in there, a lot of roughhousing. Elbows were flying, not necessarily on purpose. Heads clashing. It was a rough time for both of them.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, we got by almost out of the fight, but I don't worry about it. Stitches now.
For Griffin, he hasn't really had any anxious moments up until this point here where heads slam and cuts open. They're both, you know, Rivera just dives his head down as he usually does, and Griffin comes into him. They bang heads. You see him walk away and start wiping his eyebrow, and that's where the cut was.
Well, after that, Rivera got a lot of heart because it certainly brought him right back into the fight, and he had his best round in the fight in the 11th round. He came on very, very strong, and what does that do, Bumpy? I mean, when you see that you cut a guy, even though it was a headbutt, it certainly gave him an adrenaline flow, no question in my mind.
Well, generally speaking, cuts do that. You know, you see a cut, you think that maybe you have an opportunity to pull something out and stop the guy, but knowing that it was called and declared an accidental headbutt, and you're behind, you have to throw everything you have at him anyway because he had nothing to lose.
Well, that's a sign of a fighter who's able to do that and wants to do that. Jimmy Lennon and the Chinese ring announcer Kevin Kong are gathering the scorecards, and as soon as they're set, we'll be set to make it official. Again, unofficially, I had it scored 119 to 109.
And
just
so did
about
Freddie.
A shutout. Freddie headed the same way.
And that makes it a three-ring circus.
Okay, so we had a unanimous decision anyhow. I see our announcers have moved into place, and Jimmy Lennon is set now. So let's go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Joe O'Neill scores about 117 to 111. Judge Greenlee scores about 118 to 110, and Judge Paul Silverman scores about 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner and the new IBC Light Heavyweight Champion, Montell Griffin.
女士们、先生们，3个裁判比分数，70对101。
Well, the judges had it almost exactly the way we had it. Judge Paul Silverman had it complete shutout, and I wouldn't argue with him either.
No, I couldn't argue with the complete shutout. I could argue with 117, 111, though. That I can argue with. I could actually argue with that vehemently.
Yeah, good too. But when the three judges had it right, that makes it good. There's no question. We saw Montell Griffin win the IBC World Light Heavyweight Championship here, and we saw it in Guangzhou, China, and the People's Republic of China. And it's a thrill for all of us to be here, and we certainly hope that it's as big a thrill for you people around the world. Here it is, Guangzhou, China, and the People's Republic of China. Coming up next, Layla Ali and Christina King. Women's super middleweight action. Layla Ali, a huge star here in the People's Republic of China. There she is in her dressing room getting warmed up. She's a pretty looking thing. If she can fight as good as she looks, she'll have a great night tonight.
Yeah, I'm still.
Dr. Freddie Pacheco is standing by in the ring now with our winner, so let's go to the fight, Dr. Freddie, take it away.
Well, I was close to a shutout, a boxing lesson. Did you think this guy had presented any kind of a problem? You seem to have solved everything.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for Showtime for putting me back on the map. American champion, Theo Torrance, Tim Griffin, my man Mark Phillippe at UNLV. But to answer your question, it was a shutout. I don't think I lost more than 1 or 2 rounds. It just, most people probably think I was stupid to take a fight like this. I've been off since August. I hadn't been in the gym or nothing, but I just focused my mind. I said, this is the second part of my career. I've been through a lot of setbacks the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm just going to turn around from here.
The cut.
Yeah, well, we had headbutted about 5 or 6 times. Guess the referee didn't think it was bad, but I don't think he did on purpose, but I'm 5'7", so I got to jump up to head somebody, so he's coming down at me. We clashed heads in the 10th round.
Bobby and I kept mentioning that the third fight is almost a mandatory for you and Roy. You'd think you could get one in the next year. Roy doesn't seem to want to fight anybody.
Well, right now,
you get him?
Right now, he on top of the world. Now, 20 years from down the line, we never fight again. It's still 1-1. But he got all the fans. He got all the people, so all I could do is keep winning and keep getting the people behind me. Like I said, I was rusty. I've been off for 8 months. I talked to Tava. It kind of threw me off because I seen the fight, and he knocked him out in the 4th round, so I was trying to get him out of there. But he was tough. He took some good, took some good punches. So we're just going to take it from here.
All right. Coming over here to China, was it an unusual experience, or was it just another, once the bell rings, just another fight?
Nah, it was a good experience. I mean, who could say they've been to China? I'm only 29 years old. I've been around the world. So I feel real good. It just, we got the scale so late at the end of the week that I really didn't know how much I weighed, so I was a little overweight. I had to lose the weight. But it really wasn't no
you gave us an entertaining fight. I guess a game guy, but he was outclassed.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks so much.
And now back to the Colonel and Bobby at ringside.
Just spit it right in there. Don't worry about it. Drop your hands. Be sharp. Change your angle. Give him that, hey, come on. And snap your punch.
So you saw the